graphic, so if we can do. Okay, yeah, we can come back. We'll do a quick hit, and I'll finish and then I'll throw it a break, and I'll do another. I'll wrap up my graphic here. Massage Place Stadium, we are at halftime between the Prince George Kodiaks and the Vancouver Island Raiders. The Kodiaks hold a narrow 13-12 lead over the visiting Raiders. 2 quarters in the books. Todd, what have you noticed between these two sides? It seems there's been some deep shots by the Raiders. On the other side, the Kodiaks seem to be running the ball very well. But what have you noticed out of these two sides?
Yeah, I think, just keep, if you're the Kodiaks right now, just keep running the ball. Get the ball out quick. Let Halverson continue to carry the load. He's showing really well. And on the flip side of that, Kodiak's defense, they got to do something to account for Bonsu and Romanoff. They're taking the top off, and they're showing they're big threats for a reason. And yeah, they're keeping them in it right now.
And perhaps not only that, but also just you look at, let's talk about the quarterbacks. You look at Sawyer Thiessen, you look at Smith for the Raiders, this being both of their first real taste of what the BCFC is in terms of caliber of football. But what have you noticed out of the two of them? Are they settling into what this league is?
It looks like it, yeah. That strike there close to the end of the half from Sadler Smith to Bonsu. Pressure in his face, deliver the ball across the middle. I think it seems to me anyway, it looks like he's settling in. And he's comfortable with what's coming at him now. You look on the flip side with Sawyer Thiessen, just keep doing what you're doing. Get the ball out quick. You guys are having success with the short game. It'll be good to see, them stretch the field a little bit. But VI is doing a good job of keeping everything in front of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess at the same time, you look at some of the things, at least from my perspective, you've looked at some of those passes that have fallen incomplete for the Kodiaks. Some of it is just trying to rush that pass, perhaps not getting your feet set, trying to make that pass to your second read. However, your feet are already set for your first read.
Yeah.
What is that something that Sawyer is just going to, as he gets more settled in, is going to come?
Yeah, just settle down in the pocket. He knows he's got some time back there. Sit back and deliver the ball. And only being here in town for about a month and a bit, still building chemistry with the guys, right? And from what I've seen so far, he's well on his way. Just a couple throws, and this one could be a different score.
Absolutely. We are currently in the halftime period. There is a field goal contest happening on the field here at Massage Place Stadium, but we'll take a moment. We will step away. When we get back, we'll talk a little bit about what both sides needs to do in order to get this win here tonight to kick off the 2024 BCFC season in the win column. Mm-hmm. You're listening to Kodiaks Football on Country 97 FM. There's like 13 minutes up on the clock. Can we do 2 minutes now? We'll do another block, and then we'll do another 2-minute break. Cool. Appreciate it. At halftime between the Prince George Kodiaks and the Vancouver Island Raiders, the Kodiaks leading a narrow lead, 13-12. A pair of field goals by way of Brady the Harpoon Harper, already picking up where he left off from last season. A perfect season last year on field goal attempts and point after attempts. Already perfect here as well. Also has a point after following a Sawyer Thiessen quarterback plunge for a score to give the Kodiaks the 13 points that they have. Meanwhile, a pair of touchdowns for the Raiders as well, but perhaps the 2 times they've scored, they've lined up, they've tried to go for that 2-point conversion, and they've overthrown both times. But going into the second half, perhaps you look at both. Let's look at the offensive side of things. What do both teams need to be doing into the second half to pull this victory out?
Just, in all honesty, just keep building on what you've been building on, right? You were in camp for a long time. Both teams are looking good. They're showing glimpses of explosive offenses. Kodiaks, just keep running the ball, right? They're having a lot of success with it. And, having home advantage, they get to sleep in their beds last night, right? The Raiders had the long bus trip. Those grinding runs from Halverson start to take their toll.
Absolutely.
With the Raiders, just keep trying to build some momentum, right? You got a young quarterback, a young team in general. Just keep building off of what you're doing, because right now you're in the game, and for the most part you played well. Only the 1 turnover in the first half. So, yeah, if you're Sadler Smith, looks like he's getting comfortable back there. Keep stepping into it, letting it go, and they should have success here in the second half.
Yeah, you look at the defensive side of the ball. You're looking at the Raiders. They're. It seems like they're coming up with these big plays at critical times. There's a lot of pressure coming off those edges, coming up the middle. But it seems like Smith is finding a good job at just being able to roll that pocket, find himself time, and then not only that, find those breakdowns in coverage and finding those wide open receivers. Perhaps I just pointed it out, but what exactly do the Kodiaks need to be doing? Is it a matchup issue? Is it just assignment?
I think, going into the half, they'll make their adjustments and do what they need to do. But first and foremost, they got to do something to contain number 8. They can't let him run down the sideline free. They got to be able to identify it early and get some bodies over top of him. And, when he's returning in the punt game, don't even give him a chance to run. We got to see firsthand how fast he is and how slippery he is getting out of what looked like a sure tackle.
Yeah, absolutely. And now if you're the Vancouver Island Raiders defense, you're facing a team that's willing to run the ball. They've found success. Not only that, but they've got a running back that's just kind of roughing you guys up.
Yeah.
What is it bringing more guys into the blocks?
Yeah, you got to kind of pick your poison. At this point, you're getting hurt a little bit from the run game. Pack the box. Bring guys downhill, right? Force the Kodiaks to throw the ball and beat you that way, but do not lose this game because they're just running the ball over and over and over.
Yeah, and that's one thing I noticed. When it comes to the pressure, you're looking at the Kodiaks, and there's normally 2-3 guys in the backfield. You look at the pressure that Sawyer Thiessen is having to face. It's normally just one guy coming off the edge. Is that going to be it? Bringing more pressure from more angles just to make Thiessen kind of have his head on a swivel?
You know what? Week 1, when everyone's trying to feel it out, a little bit of chaos between the tackles is a good thing, right? You pack it. Stop the run first and foremost, and then you force Sawyer to make the throws he needs to make, and you force these receivers to get open.
Yeah. Gotcha. So we will take a moment. We will step away. We've got about 7 minutes remaining here in halftime. We'll take a moment. We'll step away. We'll take a break. You're listening to Kodiaks Football here on Country 97 FM. Massage Place Stadium, a few minutes remaining here in halftime as you're listening to Kodiaks football on Country 97 FM. I'm your play-by-play voice for the Kodiaks, Ethan Reddy. Joined with me is Todd Hansen, a longtime coach, coached for the Prince George Kodiaks last season, has also spent time in Nanaimo coaching for the Vancouver Island Raiders. Perhaps before we even go through the rest of the season with you on board for the ride, perhaps share with those listening at home a little bit about just about your experience, your playing days, your coaching days.
Oh, yeah, 13 years of junior football. Spent 12 of those with VI.
Yep.
Amazing experiences. We had great teams there. You know, I want that program to be super successful, and you know, hopefully VI and the Kodiaks are meeting in BC championships for years to come.
Mm-hmm. And now tell me a little bit about, obviously you're not on the sideline this year.
No.
You're up here. But some exciting news also for you in the last little bit.
Yeah, a 3-month-old son at home, so it was time to hang up the clipboard, at least for a year.
And are there going to be coaching elements that you bring to your parenting style? Is there going to be coaching elements that you bring to your parenting style?
Yeah, probably. No, it's good. I'm super happy to be out here, still involved with the organization. It's an amazing place for junior football. It's a packed house. You don't see much of this anywhere in junior football. And Prince George, the atmosphere, the environment, it's amazing. I wouldn't want to go anywhere else after being here.
As the Prince George Kodiaks making their way back out onto the field, is this a little bit of a different perspective? Did you ever spend any time up in the stands last season with like a
I tried.
You tried?
It never went well. I'd always end up coming down at half, and then I'm right back on the sideline. So this is different, but it's a good different.
Less stress?
Way less stress.
The Prince George Kodiaks back out onto the field. They will take some time to loosen up, stretch out before the second half gets back up and running. But we'll take a moment. We will step away and take a 2-minute break. You're listening to Kodiaks football here on Country 97 FM.
I got a Ted Bundy jersey over there.
Welcome back to Massage Place Stadium. We're moments away from getting the second half of this BCFC matchup underway. 15 minutes on the clock for the third quarter. The Prince George Kodiaks leading by a score of 13-12 over the visiting Vancouver Island Raiders. We'll see whether both sides are able to capitalize on the adjustments they made in the locker room over halftime. And definitely the Kodiaks will look to be perhaps just bandaging up some of the damage that number 8, Bonzu, has been able to have for the Vancouver Island Raiders, a receiver that's come up with a series of big plays, and including a touchdown to help the Vancouver Island Raiders stay in touch with the Kodiaks on the scoreboard. Brady Harper puts the football on the tee to get ready to kick this ball away to the Raiders to get the second half up and
I'd watch
running.
for an onside kick here.
We saw it a lot last year, so I would not be surprised. Brady Harper steps up, and he'll look to hook this one up to about the 40 as it skips out of bounds, and that will result in a series of flags. Some dirty laundry being thrown onto the turf to get this second half underway. Raiders offense out on the field to get this second half underway. 15 minutes still on the clock because of the penalties. And Sadler-Smith in the pistol. He'll try to direct. He'll hold his receivers back. His wait to get this play whistled in by the official. Ball spotted at the 40-yard line. Smith looks for a quick hit to number 14. Nearly skipped off the turf, but looks like number 14 was able to get his hands under the ball before it hit turf, as Blaze McCarty comes up with a reception of about 1 yard. They'll bring up 2nd and 9. Smith takes the snap, scans, some pressure coming from the Kodiaks, more coming from Crow. He'll connect number 14. And that'll be a reception as he slides along the turf. Number 14 with the reception. Once again, Blaze McCarty. And that'll be 3rd down. Well, it looks to be about 2 yards. Third down for the Raiders, and the offense sticks out. Smith will go under center, tries to plunge forward. Looks like he may have got stopped.
Well, that's going to be another tight one. We'll see where the spot is here.
A second surge from Smith as he kind of slips off that initial plunge and is able to slide off
did get
tackle.
good penetration there. Oh, yeah, that's tight.
We'll see whether they bring out the chains to measure this. It looks like they will be. Looks like the tip of the football just hovering on top of that 50-yard line. And you can see Jamie Borum on the far side looking down the 50-yard line, trying to communicate to the officials. He can see some
like
space.
One ref said it was short, and then the other ref said it was a first down. So bring out the chains here.
The chain group will come on out. We'll have a final official word on whether this is a first down
Yeah.
or whether this will be a turnover. 13:07 remaining here in the third quarter. Kodiaks leading by 1. Score sitting 13-12. Coulter Cannon already gesturing that it's short. And the officials say it's a first down for the Raiders.
And there's our answer.
There's the answer. Just some patience, and sometimes you get the answers you're looking for. Raiders break the huddle. They've got a fresh set of downs. Ball at the 50-yard line. 3 receivers to the near side. Smith, he'll take the snap. He's got a receiver right hovering just short of the goal line. Number 14 with the catch. That's Blaze McCarty. He quickly gets wrapped up, brought down. Number 22 on the tackle, Carson Flynn.
Taken down by Carson Flynn.
So the second and what looks to be 2nd and 8 for the Raiders. Sadler Smith with a...
Looks like they're trying to set up a shot here.
Sadler Smith with a lone back in motion. He'll pick up some rush. He's getting chased down from behind. Tries to heave it. And that will be incomplete. Sadler Smith slow to get up as he gets brought down. A late flag being thrown here. Sadler Smith getting chased down by the Kodiaks rush of Jason Kratt and J.J. Abogi.
It's very, very nice design from the Kodiaks there. They showing a cut coverage, and they brought heat and bailed everybody out. Looked like it confused them a bit.
So there was a late flag thrown after the play. The officials currently discussing the matter. It looks like Sadler Smith currently in discussions
Could this
with
be
his...
grounding?
I don't know if it would be, because it came outside of the tackles.
Yeah, but it didn't cross the line of scrimmage.
We'll see. I'm not sure whether it looked as though the late flag might have been going against the Kodiaks.
Oh, going against the Kodiaks.
It looks like a pair of penalties being dished out against the Kodiaks. So just like that, the Raiders now with the ball inside the Prince George end of the field. The ball being spotted at the 36.5-yard line. And now Sadler Smith has a fresh set of downs for the Raiders offense. 12-17 remaining here in the third quarter. And it looks to be even more delays caused by the officials. Looks like one of the officials currently in discussions with Tegan Morin of the Kodiaks. And the play will get whistled in as the clock starts to roll. Sadler Smith will send his receivers in motion. Smith, he'll hand this ball off, trying to plunge forward quickly. Tackled, brought down. Number 24, Owen Gancola. He'll get brought down. Maybe a gain of a yard or two on the play will bring up second down. Three receivers to the near side for the Raiders. Smith, he'll look to pass. He'll pump quick. Some pressure coming from Jason Kratz. Smith heaves it up. And a flag being thrown. A very clear pass interference on Tegan Morin of the Kodiaks as he had his hands draped all over Harmon Ahuja.
Got caught looking at the quarterback, and as the receiver ran by, and he just had to try to make up ground at that point.
So ball now down at the 21-yard line. Will be 1st and 10 for the Raiders. Smith under center, I formation for Vancouver Island, and they'll hand this off tackle. He'll get brought down, wrapped up. He's still up, actually. Caden Crow trying to bring him down to the field.
That's power football right there.
Be a gain of about 6 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd and 4. Ball down right at the 15-yard line. Sadler Smith once again under center, sticking with that I formation. Be a handoff once again. He stays up a little bit, enough to pick up that 1st down. Kodiak's trying to see whether they can get his knee down, but he's able to keep himself up and rumbling for a few extra yards. First and goal. Ball spotted at the 10-yard line. 9:46 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Sadler Smith now back in the pistol. Balanced set formation. A little cutback play here to the running back. He gets wrapped up. Flags being thrown.
It's going to be a horse collar on
horse
the
collar
Kodiaks.
there going on number 27, Nick Tremblay of the Kodiaks defense. He caught the running back a little too high as he was trying to make that tackle. .9:33 remaining on the clock. Kodiaks leading by 1. Score sitting 13-12 for Prince George.
The penalty was a face mask.
And actually, it wouldn't be a horse collar. It's actually a face mask being called against the Kodiaks as Raiders get a fresh set of downs and 1st and goal right down at the 1-yard line. Smith looks to, he'll plunge for the goal line and he'll score for the Raiders. A little bit of an option play there for the Raiders in the backfield as Sadler Smith fakes the handoff. Looked like he was about to get brought down in the backfield, was able to slip off the tackle and plunge into the end zone for the score. And going for 2, and there it is.
They connect.
2-point convert successful. 3rd time the charm, you could say, for the Raiders as Smith was able to connect with number 2, Harmon Ahuja. And that will be a successful 2 points for the Raiders, put them up 20-13, and you can't help but look back at that pass interference penalty going against the Kodiaks that brought the Raiders all the way down deep inside the zone.
That one and the unnecessary roughness. Defense didn't do themselves any favors on that drive, that's for sure.
The Raiders take their first lead of the game, lead 20-13 over the Kodiaks now with 9:19 remaining here in the third quarter. Raiders line up to kick the ball away to the Kodiaks. Once again, it'll be the duo of Browns back to return, but the Raiders will go for a short kick as that gets.
It's like someone went offside.
If you're going to kick the ball short, you need to stay onside to give your side at least a chance.
It's the week one fine tuning.
9:18 remaining here in the third quarter.
There was offside on Vancouver Island.
And indeed it was offside being called against the Raiders as they'll have to line back up and kick the ball again. This time the kick will come at the 40-yard line. Sterling Henry looks to kick this one, and he'll ground this one off the turf, and that will get returned by Caden Crow. Crow will drop the shoulder. Some glimpses of a fullback, perhaps, as he'll take the ball up to the 45-yard line as the Kodiaks offense will take over.
Caught by 55, Caden Crow. Caden with an 11-yard run.
Just under 9 minutes remaining here in the third quarter. Kodiak's offense breaks the huddle, 3 receivers to the near side. Sawyer Thiessen, he'll hand this off. Gavin Halverson trying to pick up where he left off in the first half, but he'll get stacked up close to the line of scrimmage and pushed back by the defensive line of the Raiders. And it looks like a bit of a cramp.
Looking like a cramp, yep.
Member of the Vancouver Island Raiders down on the turf. Looked like a member of one of his teammates trying to stretch out one of his legs at least. And again, takes me back to that whole topic of hydration, especially with, I mean, we know how hot it's been up here in Prince George, but perhaps a little bit of a surprise to the Raiders coming up here and experiencing just how hot it's been.
Yeah, especially today, it was hot.
Well, I think we both changed our shirts right before kickoff.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I got a cramp while I was doing that.
What would Jamie Borum tell you?
What?
What would Jamie Borum tell you? Should have been hydrating.
Yeah.
So it looks like the training staff of the Raiders still working on the Raiders player that is currently down on the field. 8:51 remaining here in the third quarter, so we'll take a moment. We'll take a quick break. You're listening to Kodiaks Football on Country 97 FM. Should be good.
Just want to take this time to remind you about these 50/50s over $4,000, and we'll be making the draw here after this quarter.
Welcome back. 8:51 remaining here in the third quarter as the Kodiaks offense look to continue their drive here. 2nd and 8. Sawyer Thiessen, he'll take the snap. He'll roll to his right, looks to pass, and that gets picked off by the Raiders. Overthrown the intended target, and number 6 running along the near sideline, untouched and in for the score. The Vancouver Island Raiders with the pick 6 by way of Denzel Agholm.
Yep, tried to force it a little there.
And the Raiders lining up to go for 2 points once again. Currently 1 of 3 on 2-point convert attempts this evening. And Smith will drop back, look to throw, draped all over in coverage. Carson Flynn. And flags are thrown in
Got
the
a
defensive
handful
backfield.
of jersey on that one.
Another member of the Vancouver Island Raiders down on the turf as he's getting worked. Looks like yet another leg cramp, perhaps, as they're trying to stretch out that right leg. Again,
And he's up.
And he's up. Number 69, Carson Corbett Smith gets helped off to the sideline. Penalty on that 2-point convert, so we'll have another go at the attempt for the Raiders, following a pick 6 touchdown to put themselves up currently 26-13 over the Kodiaks, with 8:25 remaining here in the third quarter. Smith will go under center. He'll drop the pass, looks for the corner back shoulder throw, and that'll be complete.
And he comes down with it. Great catch there.
Ruben Bonzu, once again, this time comes up with a 2-point convert catch against Carson Flynn as the Raiders take a 28-13 lead over the Kodiaks. Vancouver Island Raiders had a long trip to get up here, and currently they've got the momentum. They've got the momentum, and it seems like they also have the swagger as well. I just noticed a little bit of a chip on their shoulder as they make their way to the sideline in front of this Prince George crowd.
That's going to be a big series for Prince George to try to get back in this. They got to get some sort of momentum going in their favor here. This one could start to slip away.
Sterling Henry looks to kick this ball away, and he'll do a low ground kick And this will get picked up by Andrew Brown. Andrew Brown looking for a hole. He'll try to slip through. He'll find some space, and he gets brought down at the 45-yard line. Kodiak's offense comes out onto the field. 8:16 remaining here in the third quarter. Still plenty of football to be played here between these two sides. But as you said, crucial drive here to be able to piece together some momentum and try to bite into this deficit they found themselves in. There's a handoff here. Gavin Halverson plunges forward, rumbles close to a first down. Maybe a gain of about 8 yards on the play.
Gavin Halverson with the rush.
Kodiaks break the huddle. 3 receivers to the near side. Single back formation. It'd be another handoff. Gavin Halverson, he'll plunge forward. Looks like he got forward progress for the first down before getting pushed back by the defensive line. And it'll be a first down for the Kodiaks.
And that will be first down for Halverson.
Ball gets spotted at the VI 54-yard line, just past midfield here. Sets up 1st and 10. For Prince George. Thiessen will be another handoff. Gavin Halverson finds some space off the tackle. And he'll rumble for another gain of about 7 yards this time. It'll be 2nd and 3.
Halverson with a gain of 8.
6:30 remaining here in the third quarter. Kodiaks down by a score of 28-13 to the Vancouver Island Raiders. Sawyer Thiessen lined up in the shotgun. He'll take the snap. He'll scan over the middle. Looks for the sideline. Trying to connect with Cale Cowley, but that will tip off his glove and fall incomplete. We'll bring up 3rd down for Prince George.
A little bit behind on that throw. Cowley's got to get his head around a little quicker to make a play on that, but
it looks like the Kodiaks will look to punt this ball away. Number 11, Savion Townsend, goes back to return for the Raiders. And Cale Cowley will try to pin the Raiders' offense deep in their own end. And actually, the Kodiaks plunge forward, a trick play here on 3rd down. Do they have enough for the first down? A late flag being thrown.
And then first down for number 36, Coulter Cannon.
Coulter Cannon with the sneak on the 3rd down play. The formation read punt.
it looked like everyone was a little confused what was going on there.
But
Not very often do you see QB sneaks go for 6 yards.
not very often do you see a free safety also
That's
lining up
true.
for a QB sneak. Well, it looks like the penalty's going against the Raiders. So actually, even though they got the first down, Kodiaks ended up getting better field position than expected. The ball being spotted down at the 27-yard line inside the Vancouver Island end. It'll be 1st and 10. Thiessen hands this off to Halverson. Halverson gets stopped right at the line.
And a gain of 1 for Coulter Cannon. So sorry, correction, number 38, Gavin Harrison.
5:21 remaining here in the third quarter. Kodiaks trying to get themselves inside, or deeper inside the Vancouver Island Raiders end of the field. Xander Shane comes in off the sideline for the Kodiaks into the offensive huddle. It'll be 2nd and 9 for Prince George. 3 receivers to the near side. Thiessen looks to pass, connects, Jerome Erickson. And that'll be a first down for Prince George. And that'll move the chains, but another Vancouver Island Raiders player down on the field. And it looks like on the far side, Jamie Borum's called a complete sideline huddle for a discussion.
Yeah, you got to believe his message right now is to stay disciplined. They're still in the game. No mental mistakes at this point or anything after the whistle. He's just trying to keep them all locked in.
Meanwhile, the member of the Vancouver Island Raiders, number 97, that's Braden Thornbert, ends up getting helped off the field. He'll make his way to the sideline as the Kodiaks offense huddle up, and they will break the huddle. 3 receivers coming to the near side. 4:58 remaining here in the third quarter. Single back. Looks to be Xander Shane to the left side of Sawyer Thiessen, quarterback for the Kodiaks. Thiessen takes the snap. He'll hand it off. Xander Shane finds a hole, and he'll plunge forward. Gets inside the 10-yard line. Strong downhill run there from Xander Shane, and if you can get the 2 backs kind of operating as a two-headed beast, that would be wonders.
Very similar skill sets, downhill.
4:20 remaining here in the third quarter. 3 receivers in the near side. Sawyer Thiessen sends his receivers in motion. Thiessen over the middle. Carson Briere, touchdown Kodiaks! Carson Briere slipped past the coverage and walked into the end zone to get the Kodiaks, get them biting into that deficit and into the end zone. Kodiaks looking to go. Looks like they might even go for 2.
Yeah, that was a nice little slant route right inside from Briere. Sawyer saw it early, got rid of it.
Four receivers to the near side. Thiessen, he'll drop back, looks to throw, and he'll end up overthrowing Briere on the 2-point attempt. And they will stay at 19.
That's a big one for the Kodiaks, because now it's still a 2-possession game.
4:08 remaining here in the third quarter. VI Raiders leading 28-19. A missed opportunity there on the 2-point convert, as you just said. Remains to be a 2-score game in favor of the Raiders. Brady Harper will get himself in position to boot this one away for the Kodiaks. And a deep boot here from Harper. He'll get it down to the 10-yard line. Raiders will look to return, but they'll break it to the sideline. Some flags being thrown here.
Looking like a flag on, or a holding call on the Raiders there. Kodiak player was tackled.
4:01 remaining here in the third quarter. It looks like, yes, indeed, the Raiders will be pushed back following that flag. The ball will get spotted at the 19-yard line. Sadler Smith will have to deal with this crowd getting louder. Some motion from the receiver, Smith. He'll give a jet to number 8 of the Raiders. He finds some room, tries to cut back, and he gets brought down but picks up a first down. But there is a flag in the backfield.
As he turned the corner there, it looked like the tackle got a hold on the Kodiaks DN.
We again have some flags on the play. And we will take it back.
And it will be going against the Raiders.
Holding on the offense. Get the door.
So that will push the ball back to the, looks to be about the 9-yard line. So 10-yard penalty. We'll set up 1st and 20. Feel like at this point you know where the ball's trying to get put if you're the Raiders. Smith drops, he looks over. Going deep and ends up dropping in and out of the gloves. Was able to find his way in pass coverage. Looked like a little bit of a delay in the transition of zone coverage there by the Kodiaks. But Ruben Bonzu, the intended target.
Aiden Leslie, the former Raider, with the coverage there.
It'll be 2nd and 20. Smith will take the snap. Some pressure coming off the edge by the Kodiaks. Smith trying to avoid the sack. And the Kodiaks. And that is being registered as a sack for the Kodiaks. And the Vancouver Island Raiders offense looked confused following that one. It'll be 3rd down with the ball spotted at the 2.5-yard line, with the Raiders pushed deep into their own end zone.
Did he just take a knee on the 1?
I think he did.
Oh, no. That is...
And again, I'm going to say it right now. You've got an American quarterback coming up into Canada.
I don't think I've ever seen that before.
Is that what that was? Perhaps a product of just not knowing.
Well, you could see the Raiders sideline signaling for Smith to take a knee, but I don't know what happened.
Well, Kodiak's offense gets set up with the best field position you could ask for. A 1st and goal from the 2-yard line.
What a wild third quarter this has turned into be. Oh.
When they say Canadian football can be absolutely crazy, they're usually talking about the Rouge. They're talking about, movement. That's the first time I've seen that. Sawyer Thiessen takes the snap, tries to hand off. Gavin Halverson gets wrapped up. Some quick pressure right off the edge. Coming by way of number 52, Caleb Charlton. That'll be a loss on the play.
with the way they've been running the ball today, I would still go to Halverson here, see if he can get downhill. You're not in a situation where you have to throw it here.
The ball on the 4-yard line, a loss of 2 yards on that last play. It looks like Thiessen will pass. He'll roll to his left. Looks like he'll try to tuck it, try to punch forward. He'll dive. Touchdown, Kodiaks! Sawyer Thiessen dives for the end zone and gets it in. And the Kodiaks have bit deep into this deficit. Score reading 28-5, still in favor of the Raiders, but some crazy football, and just like that, the Kodiaks.
You could see the minute he turned that corner, he was going for it.
And the Kodiaks look to be lining up to go for two. Thiessen, he'll throw it, tries to throw to Jerome Erickson. And that overthrew the first one, underthrew the second.
The Raiders got lucky there. They didn't have enough DBs here on the strong side of the field. Didn't look like Sawyer Thiessen was able to see it over there.
Minute 55 remaining here in the third quarter. Vancouver Island Raiders saw a substantial lead just diminish before their very eyes. They still have that lead, but not quite to the extent they had a 2-possession lead just moments ago, and now the Vancouver Island Raiders sit ahead of the Prince George Kodiaks 28-25. And the Kodiaks seem to have that momentum shifting in their favor as they get lined up to kick this ball away. Brady Harper, he'll kick this one deep down to about the 12-yard line, and the Raiders will look to return this one. They try to bring it to the near side, gets wrapped up. Nick Tremblay will start that gang tackle, and the Raiders will have their offense come back out. And it looked like the Kodiaks trying to look as if they came up with the ball, but officials not selling their act, and the Raiders offense will come out onto the field with a minute 40 to go here in the third quarter.
Now, VI's just got to slow things down here.
Make some noise!
Smith, he'll take the snap, bobbled in the backfield. Loose ball, who has it? Who knows? Both sides fighting for it. Kodiaks gesturing they have it.
Who's got it?
And it'll be a Kodiaks football. Prince George, one play, just like that, they get it back.
When things go wrong, they go wrong in a hurry.
And things are sliding downhill quickly for the Vancouver Island Raiders as the Prince George Kodiaks have their offense back out onto the field. Ball spotted at the 21-yard line. Minute 22 to go. And we're still in the third quarter.
If Prince George scores here, this place is going to go bananas.
Three receivers to the far side. Thiessen, he'll roll, steps up, takes the drop, he'll throw it. Ben Fair with the catch. And that'll be a gain of about, well, it looks to be about a gain of about 7 or 8 yards on the play. It looks closer to 8. It will be 2nd and 2. Inside the final minute here of the third quarter. Thiessen drops, looks over the middle, scans, tries to connect.
Great catch.
A beautiful catch, Carson Briere, second touchdown, and the Kodiaks take the lead. 31-28 with 27 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. Get your fruit, get your yogurt, because this place is going bananas. Prince George goes up 31-28. Brady Harper lining up for the point after attempt. And splits it 32-28 for the Kodiaks. Wow.
A lot's happened in the last 10 minutes. It's, yeah.
If you were to use, I'll limit you to 3 words. Explain the last few minutes of this third quarter. Keep it appropriate.
Yeah. Yeah. Wild. That's the only thing that comes to mind. Down 2 scores early in this quarter, and all of a sudden, before the quarter's up, come out on top. Great resolve from the Kodiaks, though. They didn't stop. They kept coming. They kept coming.
Brady Harper lining to kick this ball away, and he'll boot this one to the far sideline, and he'll skip. And that will bring a flag as it skips out of bounds. The ball skips out of bounds at the 16-yard line. We'll draw a flag. 27 seconds remaining here in the third quarter. And the Prince George Kodiaks, if you're just tuning in, you've missed the wild last few moments of this third quarter. It'd be a game's worth of drama, but all packed into one quarter here at Massage Place
Stadium. Fans are getting their
Stadium.
money's worth tonight, that's for sure.
So Vancouver Island Raiders will start this drive at the 40. Smith, he'll take the snap, looks to hand off, and that will be brought down. A gain of a few yards on the play. There'll be a gain of 3 yards. We'll set up 2nd and 7. For the Raiders. Final few seconds will tick off. This will be the final play of the third quarter.
Take it away, Christine.
Smith will drop back, some pressure. He'll look to the near sideline, and number 80 with the catch, but Tegan Morin comes up with the tackle. It'll be short. It looks like it'll be short, getting marked. And trying to see, looks like a member of the Kodiaks currently down on the field. Can't quite make out the jersey number. But looks to be in some discomfort. And number 20, that will be actually Tegan Morin, the one who ended up making the tackle on the play. As we reach the end of the third quarter, we'll take a moment, we'll step away. A wild 15 minutes now in the books. Kodiaks leading 32-28. You're listening to Kodiaks football on Country 97 FM.
Just kind of black out for a second.
$50. So let's get some 50-50 and get that up to $5,000.
Welcome back to Massage Place Stadium. Vancouver Island Raiders punting this ball away as Coulter Cannon gets chased down, but it looks like there'll be a 5-yard penalty being thrown against the Vancouver Island Raiders.
Onside punt. That guy that got down there first, he was an onside player.
Was he onside? Well, that will perhaps take away the penalty. We'll see what the penalty is, if indeed it was a 5-yard penalty, but we're waiting to see. The officials currently trying to discuss their way through the previous play. It was a 3rd down play that caught the Kodiaks a little out of position. They didn't have a returner back.
No, lining up in shotgun on 3rd and short with them going for it as much as they have. You don't anticipate them to do a quick punt. A lot of discussion here, though.
It looks like you've got both offenses from either side currently on the field. Both teams thinking that they came up with the ball. .41 remaining here in the 4th quarter. Kodiaks leading 32-28. As Sadler Smith makes his way over to his head coach on the sideline to have some discussion. Meanwhile, the officials still discussing the previous play. And looks like it will be Kodiak's ball.
No
after
yards on the Raiders.
All of that. So, tough break for the Raiders.
I was close.
It was close. It was worth trying. Kodiak's offense now out on the field. Well, they were out on the field the entire time, actually. So now lining up, and the ball will be spotted at the 25-yard line. And the Vancouver Island Raiders will decide to call a timeout.
Ticket number C1835. Again, ticket C1835. You won $2,505. You can come up to the booth to claim your prize.
And Kodiak's 50-50 winning ticket number being announced here in stadium. New this year, basically the next day after every Kodiak's home game, a new 50-50 will start as the Kodiaks run the ball. Gavin Halverson nearly broke free for a big gain there, but was still able to get through the initial wave as he rumbles for a hard-fought 6-yard gain. Sawyer Thiessen, he'll take the snap. He'll keep this one. He'll look to throw. Tries to connect to Ben Fair, but that pops in and out. Looks like Fair was perhaps trying to use his chest plate to catch that one.
Yep.
13:54 remaining here in the 4th quarter. And that will be a quick 2 and out for the Kodiaks, unable to come up with a first down.
With the way he's been returning today, I'm surprised Bonsu's not back returning punts now.
Instead, it will be number 11, Savion Townsend, back to return for the Raiders, as Cale Cali will look to punt this one away. Cale Cali gets this one away, will skip at the 50, bounces, and that will go out at about the 42-yard line. as they avoid the risk of a big return from the Raiders. Something that the Kodiaks just can't afford at this point, to have a big play go against them.
Yep.
Go-to for snow debris removal, load hauling, and the crowd support.
13:31 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks leading by 4. As Sadler Smith will try to orchestrate this offense. He'll jet play it to Bonzu. Bonzu trying to find the edge. He gets brought down. A flag in the backfield.
It's the aerial holding.
14 with the tackle of your Prince George.
And that is number 14 with the tackle, Kean Fournier.
Corner.
I'll bring up. Well, we'll wait to see where the ball gets spotted. It looks like it'll be a loss on the play, but also a holding penalty going against the Raiders. So that will push the ball back. And it'll be a first and long. Ball spotted at the 33-yard line. Raiders need to get to the 53-yard line. Three receivers set to the near side. Smith calls the cadence, some motion coming through the backfield. Smith drops back. He's got some pressure trying to chase it away. Smith puts it up, and that falls incomplete as Smith was getting chased down by the usual pressure he's faced all evening long from the Kodiaks defense.
Looks like the running back went the wrong way on the screen.
It looked like there may have been a little bit of miscommunication in terms of just what was going on in the backfield. And
they ran that play earlier in the game for a big one.
12:47 remaining here in the fourth quarter. This will be second and long. Sadler Smith with three receivers to his right side. Smith takes the snap, looks to throw, throws it deep, high ball up in the air, and that will fall incomplete. Carson Flynn in coverage. Trying to connect with number 14, Blaze McCarty. That skips off the turf.
Wide side go route. That's a long throw to make for any quarterback.
3-5, come to the top right where the big booth is. You can play your prize here. $2,000, C1835.
Third down for the Raiders. And it looks like they will punt the ball away. I believe it's Andrew Brown back to return. Ball gets snapped, looking, trying to kick it towards the sideline. Andrew Brown picks it off the skip off the turf, and Brown along the sideline finds some space, and he's able to return that inside the VI end of the field. Steps out just before the 40-yard line.
Hold.
And it looks like there is a flag on the play. A flag currently sitting just in front of the Kodiaks bench. And it will be going against the Kodiaks, so that will take away that return from Andrew Brown. 12 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks holding on to a 32-28 lead.
Looks like the Raiders are missing two guys on defense right now.
So a short lineup on the defensive side. We'll see if the Kodiaks can capitalize. Andrew Shane tries to plow forward. He picks up about 4 yards on the carry.
18, a gain of 5 from your man, Xander
It'll be
Shea.
second down for Prince George. Thiessen takes the snap, drops back, looks to pass, some pressure. He'll step in front of it, though, and he's still rolling. Stays up, hits it for the sideline. Brady Van Summeren with
Great
the
job
catch.
by Sawyer Thiessen. My goodness.
Looked like he was going to get brought down by a duo of Raiders defenders deep in the backfield, but was able to just step up into the pocket, keep the play alive, and then found Van Summeren tight against the sideline.
And to get both feet in by the looks of it over there.
Both feet in for sure, and gets the chains moving. First down for the Kodiaks. Thiessen. Play action, some pressure, steps up again. He'll just tuck it. He's got some room.
Oh.
And he'll run out of bounds. A flag in the backfield. And a member of the Kodiaks, looks like it might be an offensive lineman down on the field. .10:45 remaining here in the fourth quarter. As a member of the Kodiaks offense gets tended to by the training staff. Meanwhile, the officials converge to discuss the flag on the previous play.
Their diverse team of architectures have supported your sustainable local dreams here in Prince George for over 60 years.
It looks to be offside being called against the Kodiaks, as well as a holding penalty going against the Kodiaks. The offside call is declined, but the holding call will stand against the Kodiaks. That will bring the ball back to the Prince George 50-yard line, as the member of the Kodiaks offense gets helped up. Looks like that's number 68 for Prince George. That's Colton Ansorger. So first and 20. The situation for the Kodiaks offense. 10:45 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks break the huddle, line up three receivers to the near side. Andrew Brown, the receiver, on the line. Sawyer Thiessen takes the snap. He'll drop back, looks to throw, looks for a quick connection, but Brady Van Summeren unable to handle that throw as that falls incomplete, and it'll bring up second and 20. Second and long for the Kodiaks offense. Ball on their own 50-yard line. Sawyer Thiessen sends the receivers in motion. He'll drop. He'll roll. Rolling to the near side.
He's got a man wide open.
He's got a man wide open. Carson Briere caught deep down all the way to the 10-yard line. Carson Briere is having himself a day.
Just how they drew it up.
Just how they drew it up. We were talking about this prior to the game, actually. Carson Briere, this being his second year on the team. Last year, he's made huge strides since last year.
He had an incredible offseason. And all that hard work's showing up today.
Absolutely. He showed up to training camp weighing, I think, 15 more pounds worth of muscle and just confidence
and
level.
Faster,
confidence level through the roof. Sawyer Thiessen drops back, looks over, tries to connect to Jerome Erickson, but that will fall incomplete as contact was right there
Jerome Erickson incomplete.
They'll bring second down for the Kodiaks. You can see Carson Briere in the huddle just telling everyone just settle down. Thiessen looks to pass, looks over the middle.
Guess who?
Guess who? Carson Briere. Make it 3 touchdowns on the day. Wow. Wow. Kodiaks lining up for the point after. Brady Harper to kick. And that will go through the uprights. 39-28 for the Prince George Kodiaks with 9:03 to go here in the fourth quarter. And Carson Briere,
Have a day.
I can't say anything else. The proof is in the tape.
I guess it's all the tips you gave him, eh?
What's that?
All the tips you gave him.
Prince George makes some
The crowd here at Massage Place Stadium fully behind their squad as Brady Harper will look to kick this ball away to the Vancouver Island Raiders. Just over 9 minutes to go here in the fourth quarter, and Kodiak's leading 39-28. Harper boots this one down to inside the 10. Bobbled catch, and the Raiders look to try to return it. They'll try to break it for the near sideline, and that gets brought down. Number 11, Cale Cali on the tackle.
Prince George, our defense is on the field, so you know what that means. Make some noise!
Sadler Smith will try to do exactly what Sawyer Thiessen did just over the span of the last quarter and a half, trying to get his side back into this one. His side's now trailing 11 points to the Prince George Kodiaks. And it looks like the Kodiaks will opt to call themselves a timeout as Jamie Borum calls his defensive unit over to the sideline.
Next game day job starting tomorrow. You can visit kodiaksfootball.com.
Again, touch back on the Kodiaks Game Day 50-50. A new setup this year, so even though we just announced the 50-50 winner for tonight's game, the next 50-50 raffle will actually launch tomorrow, so that will last and be open right up until the end of the third quarter of the Kodiaks' next home game, which will be August 10th against the Valley Huskers. They'll have 2 road games from now until then. They'll be taking on the West Shore Rebels on July 27th, followed up with a matchup in Langley against the Rams on August 3rd. So if you didn't participate in the 50-50 or you didn't win, head on over to kodiaksfootball.com and get your 50-50 tickets as of tomorrow. Sadler Smith looking for the sideline, looking for, as you know, number 8 comes up with the catch.
Down by number 15.
Ruben Bonzu comes up with the reception, and that will move the Raiders right past midfield for a first down.
Prince George, get loud!
Smith takes the snap, looks, scans, looking, trying to make something, gets brought down. Jason Kratt, the pride of Hickson, BC, and a former Prince George secondary polar comes up with the big play as he hauls down the Raiders quarterback. Finished last season with half a sack to his stat line. There's no question that was a complete sack by Jason Kratt on that previous play. .7:40 to go here in the fourth quarter. 2nd and 11 for the Raiders. And Sadler Smith looks to call a quick timeout. 7:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks leading 39-28. 3-touchdown performance by Carson Briere. We were talking about just his effort, his ethic in the offseason, coming back into camp, you know, stronger, faster.
Yeah, he's put on a performance tonight. This is one he's going to want to build on going into next week for sure, but we're seeing a different Carson Briere this year.
Absolutely.
Confident, strong. He's going to be a lot for teams to handle.
And now at the same time, I mean, how much, we'll continue this after this next play as the VI Raiders break the huddle after the timeout. Sadler Smith has got 3 receivers to the far side of the field. Smith will take the snap. He'll look to throw some pressure, looks over the middle, and he'll connect that one. Number 80 with the catch.
That is a big-time throw from Sadler Smith there. Hung in, took a hit right in the chest and delivered.
Number 80, Parker Mosgrip, with the reception on that one to move the chains. But I know finding that go-to receiver, that number 1 guy, has been a struggle for the Kodiaks. So how positive is it to have a performance out of a receiver like we've seen from Briere today?
It's huge. They're just going to build off that and continue to build, and hopefully it just translates every week.
More pressure coming from the Kodiaks. Weston Shields. Weston Shields along with J.J. Abogui. All the Kodiaks pressure on that one to bring down Sadler Smith. Makes it 2nd and a lot with 6:15 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Second and long play. You have an idea of who exactly they're going to look to try to get the ball to. I would guess Ruben Bonzu is going to be the intended target, but it won't be. Number 14, actually. And that'll be a quick hit. Tegan Moore and comes up with the quick tackle for a loss. As Blaze McCarty makes the catch but quickly gets wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. And that will bring 3rd down.
He read that perfectly.
5:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Sadler Smith, 3rd down. The offense stays out for the Raiders. He'll drop back, some pressure coming up the middle. Sadler Smith looks to run it himself. He's getting chased down by Nick Tremblay. He won't get even close to the first initial marker, but there is a flag on the far side of the field.
Looking like a face mask there. That one's got to hurt for the Kodiaks.
Will be going against the Kodiaks as ball gets spotted at the 27-yard line, so that'll be a automatic 1st down for the Raiders. A lucky break there, a tough break if you're the Kodiaks. Three receivers to the near side. Smith He'll look to throw, pumps, looks deep. That ball goes up, tipped, and drops to the turf. That will fall incomplete. That brings us 2nd and 10, 4:52 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks leading 39-28.
Kodiaks keep lining up multiple safeties right now. Those deep shots just aren't going to be there. VI's got to get back to just work in the middle of the field, short stuff, get the ball in your athlete's hands and let them go.
Sadler-Smith, he'll take the snap, play action. He'll drop deep into the backfield. He'll dump it off to his halfback, and number 25 trying to make his way to the sideline. He'll step out at what looks to be about the 12-yard line. Number 25 with the catch and run, Jack McLeod. A little bit of a running back screen by the Raiders. We have 4.5 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Get snapped. Smith drops, looks over the middle, and Bonzu with another touchdown reception just inside the goal line, was coming over the middle. And that gets the Raiders up to 34 on their side. We'll see if they decide to go for another 2-point convert here.
Yeah, got to make it a one-possession game here.
Smith looks for the corner. That gets swatted and falls incomplete. The score 39-34. Raiders able to bite a little bit into that deficit. They get a touchdown back, but unable to capitalize on the 2-point convert. As it looks like the Kodiaks offense, actually no, they will decide to go ahead and with the kick return, I believe. 4:12 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Andrew Brown and Myron Brown, no relation, back to return for the Prince George Kodiaks. As number 28, Sterling Henry, looks to kick this ball away for the Raiders. A low kick here as it gets picked up by Andrew Brown. Brown trying to find a hole. He'll go into some contact, try to break free. He'll get brought down by the coattail of his jersey. And a late flag here being thrown. It looks like it might be going against the Raiders. Not sure whether it was some extracurricular activity going on after the whistle on that one.
Yeah, this game's been tight all night, so it's getting a little chippy.
.359 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiak's offense out onto the field. And it looks like penalties going against Prince George, actually. Well, that penalty call doesn't get met by the crowd's satisfaction, as you can hear the boos echo out here at Massage Place Stadium.
Xander Shane and Gavin Halverson time, I think. Eat into this clock a little bit.
Clock is now rolling. Sawyer Thiessen goes under center. He'll hand this off Looks like that was Xander Shane with the handoff here as he
Oh,
forces
stiff
a
arm.
defender right off contact and keeps the ball going. And he carries that, rumbles it up to the 25-yard line. Looks like that'll be a first down for Prince George. Meanwhile, a member of the Raiders down, injured on the field. So as you mentioned, Todd, you're seeing Xander Shane into the lineup as well as Gavin Halverson. You've had success on the run. Now it's just let's leave it to the backfield. Let's just
Lead the clock. Try to take a chunk out of this. Get a couple first downs. Flip the field at the very least. Perfect thing would just be score again.
again keep things simple, right?
Exactly.
Member, as I said, of the Raiders defense down on the field being tended to by training staff. Not sure whether, again, we've seen a trend of, it looks like, just cramping a lot amongst players. First game of the season, perhaps not listening to the coaches when it comes to hydration.
Well, when you're on a bus for that long, making any trip, it takes a toll on your body. And these guys are battling it out, doing everything they can to scrape back into this game, and kudos to them, right? I'm sure he's going to have some water and get right back out there as soon as he can.
And there he is, gets up. It looks like it's number 11, Savion Townsend, who's the injured Raider on the play. He gets up, he's able to run off of the field on his own. 3:46 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiak's just looking to bleed the clock. Sawyer Thiessen in the shotgun. He'll hand this off. Xander Shane. He goes into contact. Looks like he may have been able to get 1 yard on that play.
Xander Shane with a gain of 1 for your Kodiaks.
Clock rolling, 3:10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Xander Shane still the lone back in the backfield for Prince George. Thiessen drops, looks to throw, goes for the sideline, and that looks like that may have fallen incomplete. It did. Jerome Erickson, the intended target on the play. And the punt team will be coming out for Prince George. 3rd and 9. 2:57 remaining here.
Yeah, this situation, I would not be putting the ball anywhere close to Bonsu.
There's a reason he's back there, and it's because he's been making plays all night long. He's not the guy you want to be getting the ball if you're the Kodiaks. Expect Cale Cowley to try to pin this close to the sideline. He'll try, he'll skip, and that will go out of bounds at the 50. Looks
kind of like that.
Looks like it'll be the 53-yard line it'll skip out at. .246 to go. Kodiaks leading 39-34, but the Vancouver Island Raiders offense back out onto the field. They'll take over first down from the 53-yard line as they near midfield here at Massage Place Stadium. BCFC kickoff weekend. Smith, he'll hand this off. McLeod gets wrapped up, brought down, maybe a gain of a yard or two on the play. We'll bring up second down. Raiders break the huddle. Smith drops it behind the back.
What a play.
Catch from Bonzu, but he's getting wrapped up, brought down, forced back by the Kodiaks defense. A very athletic play there by Bonzu, but
Doing everything he can.
he's trying.
Prince George, when I say D, you say Vets. D. Vets. D.
2:22 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Third and what looks to be about 7 for the Raiders. Big play needed here by the Kodiaks defense. Smith looking over the middle, picked off Coulter Cannon. And Cannon he'll try to break through a tackle, gets brought down. And a big defensive play by the leader of this defensive unit. Coulter Cannon steps up when it's absolutely needed. And he gets the Kodiaks the ball with 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks leading 39-34.
25 return for number 36, Coulter Cannon.
Kodiaks back on offense. You'll see the 2-back set. Play action here.
action.
Sawyer Thiessen looking, trying to connect, throw deep, but there is a flag on the play.
Number 1 got a piece of him.
Jerome Erickson, the intended target. It looks like that was Felice Toscano in coverage against Jerome Erickson. May have got a little bit of cloth on Jerome Erickson in that previous play.
Yeah, he tried to release outside and he got square with him, locked him up. Flags come out.
Will be going against the Raiders. It'll be a first down for Prince George. As we're inside the final 2 minutes here, Kodiaks just need to hold on and run this clock out. Thiessen, he'll take the snap, he'll hand it off. Xander Shane, he'll bounce back out off tackle. He'll break off a tackle and he'll plunge forward. And that'll be a first down as the Kodiaks able to get more clock off.
Some sweet feet.
Sweet feet from Xander Shane.
And a first down for Xander Shane.
Thiessen hands this off, going right back to Xander Shane. He gets stood up just past the line of scrimmage. Maybe a gain of about 3 yards on the play. Looks like forward progress would have got him down to the 25-yard line. We'll bring up 2nd and 7.
Another first down, and they should be able to knee this game out.
Flags being thrown.
A little bit of everybody jumping on that
A little
one.
movement from both sides. We'll see who actually ends up getting the call or whether these will be offsetting penalties. A minute 3 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Kodiaks holding on to a 39-34 lead here late in the fourth quarter at Massage Place Stadium. As offside going against the Raiders. So that will help the Kodiaks progress the ball forward. It'll give them a 2nd and 2 situation. 5-yard penalty. Kodiaks break the huddle. Sawyer Thiessen along with Xander Shane in the backfield. And he'll hand this off. Xander Shane trying to get those two crucial yards to get the first down.
Be close.
And it'll be close, but it actually looks like the far side official might be calling a first down.
That should put them into a situation where they can knee this out now.
Inside the final minute, 56.3 seconds here in the fourth quarter. And it looks like they're bringing in the beef into the offensive huddle. Jason Tratt and J.J. Oboe, along with Jordan Brady Williams, also coming in.
The old victory formation.
Wasn't sure. We've seen that a few times last year where they brought specifically Tratt into the offensive lineup to run the ball, but instead it looks like they'll be lining up in the victory formation here as the clock works its way down to zeros. 40 seconds remaining. Sawyer Thiessen will go under center, and he'll take one knee as the clock will get spotted. That'll be second down for the Kodiaks. Clock continues to roll as the crowd here at Massich Place Stadium starts to get up on their feet and cheer their Kodiaks on to victory. As Sawyer Thiessen will take one more knee as the clock continues to run out. The Prince George Kodiaks one more knee will lock this one away as Sawyer Thiessen goes under center again. And that'll do it. The Prince George Kodiaks battle back. They were down in this one by 2 scores. They battled back, and they come up with a 39-34 victory over the Vancouver Island Raiders. And they start the season off in the positive 1-0 here at home. We'll take a moment. We will step away. We'll take a break. You're listening to Kodiaks football here on Country 97 FM. Welcome back to Massich Place Stadium. The Prince George Kodiaks seal away the victory to kick off the BCFC regular season. 39-34 over the Vancouver Island Raiders here at home against, as I just said, Vancouver Island Raiders. A very exciting, very strange at times matchup or game played out here in Prince George. Todd, I'm at a loss for words because I feel like we just saw a season's worth of excitement.
Yeah, that was awesome to watch. Both sides brought everything they had today. And, awesome game to watch.
Absolutely. And, so the Prince George Kodiaks will start the season in the win column with this victory. 39 points being the most points they've ever put up in a single game as well in their going on 3 years in the BCFC. So that is also something very exciting. But another stellar performance we saw Sawyer Thiessen, first look at him in black and yellow here in Prince George. And not only that, but we also saw the connection that he's very quickly developed with Carson Briere. 3 touchdown catches in the winning performance. Is this just the start? Is there more to come? Is there perhaps more personnel from the offense we didn't really see because of that connection?
Well, the offense that Coach Borum's assembled, there's weapons everywhere. It's just who's going to have the hot hand on that night. Carson looked incredible tonight. His routes were precise, caught everything thrown to him, and Sawyer's starting to develop that chemistry with him, and it's only going to continue to grow, not only for Carson and Sawyer, but the whole offense. So it's the coming weeks, it's going to be exciting to watch.
Absolutely. Safe to say Carson Briere, the player of the game, which is brought to you by West Wind's Mobile Vet. Carson Briere, 3 touchdown receptions in the season opening winning performance for the Kodiaks. Very exciting game to be had by the local product at that, a graduate from Dutchess Park Secondary School. And at the same time, we'll also take a moment, just look at the out-of-town scoreboard, which is brought to you by Windsor Plywood. After 3 quarters of play, the Langley Rams and the Okanagan Sun are knotted up at 13 apiece. Meanwhile, in the other game happening in the BC Football Conference, just 18 minutes ago, the halftime score 20-10, the West Shore Rebels leading the Kamloops Broncos. Believe that game is happening in Kamloops as well. So some interesting matchups happening, and we'll see exactly. It'll take a few weeks before we really get to understand the landscape of what the league looks like this year. But right now, the Prince George Kodiaks are going to soak this all in as they give a salute to the crowd here at Massich Place Stadium. 39-34 winning performance. We'll take a moment. We will step away. We'll take a break. When we get back, we'll set the scene ahead of next week's matchup for the Prince George Kodiaks. You're listening to Kodiaks Football on Country 97 FM. Welcome back to Massage Place Stadium. A winning performance by the home side. Prince George Kodiaks take down the Vancouver Island Raiders by a score of 39-34. Lead changes throughout this one. Comeback efforts as well. Prince George at one point was down 2 scores. Were able to rally back in a very odd third quarter that we experienced that seemed to just have everything that defines Canadian football in it. But nonetheless, they will have a 1-0 record going into week 2 of the BCFC season. And next up will be, we saw the Vancouver Island Raiders make the long trip up here, but now it will be Prince George for the longest trip that they will experience
this season,
quite possibly ever. Whenever they go and visit the West Shore Rebels, they will travel to Vancouver Island, go to Langford, and take on the West Shore Rebels next Saturday. I mean, this is a team, the Rebels, where, you know, where they stand, because there's been so much change, not only just in the locker room, the coaching staff, organization, but what can we be expecting out of that matchup, Todd?
It's going to be a good game regardless. West Shore, they're the defending BC champs for a reason. Yep. And regardless of coaching changes and players leaving, you still got to give them respect. They're still going to bring it. They're still a talented football team. Yep. And, yeah, next week, the Kodiaks will be put to the test, but that's going to be a good benchmark game to see where their season's going to go. Yeah. Because you go into West Shore, you win that one, well, you just win on the road, longest trip of your season. It can put your whole season in an upward trajectory, and that'd be huge for this whole organization. Absolutely.
You clean up a few things that weren't going well today, specifically perhaps just some of the penalties that happened, some of that edge defense as well, and you can definitely make a solid performance against a team like the West Shore Rebels. But again, that game will be happening next Saturday, July 27th, on the island in Langford for the Prince George Kodiaks. Of course, you can catch that game right here on Country 97 FM. I will bring you the call. I can't say whether Todd will be making the trip or not, but he might just leave that long trip for me to be had. But you can join me. I will bring you the play-by-play and everything you need to know leading up to kickoff. That does it for me here at Massage Place Stadium. On behalf of myself, Todd Hansen, and our entire production crew here in the stadium, but also back at Country 97, thank you so much for tuning in, and enjoy the rest of your night. Alrighty, thank you so much. Yeah, you too. Have a good weekend. Yeah, bye.